They discovered the letter by accident, buried inside a collapsed brick wall beneath an abandoned post office in St. Louis. At first glance, it seemed like a simple scrap of paper, yellowed by time. But when archivist Daniel Reeves noticed the signature, Dr. Elias Harrington, a government scientist who mysteriously vanished in 1893, the entire excavation team realized they weren't dealing with just a letter. They were holding a lost piece of American history. And it didn't describe the past. It warned the future. The story begins in the scorching summer of 1893, when America was shaking under economic panic. Banks collapsed, railroads fell like dominoes, and ordinary citizens stood in bread lines for the first time in their lives. But in a quiet corner of Washington, D.C., inside a windowless room in the Department of Geological Survey, Dr. Harrington worked on something far stranger than any economic crisis. He had discovered patterns, recurring geological pulses beneath American soil. Every 27 years, the readings spiked, as if the earth itself was taking a deep, violent breath. At first, the patterns seemed harmless, but when Harrington aligned the numbers with historical events, the hair on the back of his neck rose. The 1812 New Madrid earthquake that shook the Mississippi River backward, the 1839 black winter storms that froze the Midwest solid, the 1866 firestorms across the frontier, all occurring exactly 27 years apart. And the next pulse, 1893. Harrington predicted something catastrophic was coming, something the government quietly labeled the fourth pulse. But instead of warning the public, federal officials buried the findings, terrified the truth would spark national panic during an already devastating economic collapse. Still, Harrington refused to stay silent. In February 1893, he boarded a train to Chicago, where construction was underway for the World's Columbian Exposition, a massive fair meant to celebrate America's achievements and distract citizens from their growing despair. Harrington believed the epicenter of the fourth pulse lay beneath the very land the fairgrounds were being built upon. When he arrived, the city was unrecognizable. Snow-blackened streets, endless factories coughing smoke into the sky, and thousands of workers rushing to build the White City before opening day. Engineers laughed when Harrington warned them the ground was unstable. Politicians dismissed him as paranoid. But then, the animals began fleeing. Rats abandoning sewer tunnels, birds migrating weeks too early, horses refusing to cross certain parts of the construction site. Harrington knew the pulse was close. In April, he slipped into the unfinished Manufactures and Liberal Arts Building, the largest structure ever built at the time, and set his instruments on the dirt floor. The readings nearly broke the needle. Something massive was shifting beneath Chicago. His discoveries led him to a forgotten drainage tunnel, sealed for decades. With a lantern in one hand and his journal in the other, Harrington descended alone into the underground. The deeper he walked, the stranger the walls became, etched with markings no modern scholar has ever been able to translate. At the end of the tunnel, he found a cavern. In the center lay a slab of stone covered in symbols. And beneath the slab, the ground pulsed. It wasn't an earthquake. It wasn't volcanic activity. It felt rhythmic, almost like a heartbeat. Harrington wrote his final entry there, the ink trembling with fear. This is not the earth moving. It is something inside it, awakening. No one saw him again. On May 3, 1893, 1 week before the World's Fair opened, the ground beneath Chicago shook with a sudden tremor. Buildings rattled, scaffolding collapsed, and dozens of workers fled the site. But within minutes, the shaking stopped. Newspapers barely mentioned it. The fair opened on schedule. Millions of Americans attended. But deep underground, the pulse cycle had reset. Exactly 27 years later, in 1920, strange underground tremors returned. Then again, in 1947, 1974, 2001. Always quiet, always dismissed. Harrington's warnings faded into dust. His files vanished. His name disappeared from government records. Until 2024, when the letter was found. Inside that scrap of paper, preserved far better than anything its age should be, Harrington described a final prediction. The seventh pulse will not be like the others. It will not shake the earth. It will split the truth open. Researchers calculated the dates: 1812, 1839, 1866, 1893, 1920, 1947, 2001, 2028. The next pulse was less than 4 years away. Today, scientists across America quietly debate Harrington's writings. Some argue the pulses correlate with deep mantle shifts. Others claim they point to an ancient fault system no one has mapped. A few whisper theories about something older, deeper, and far less natural. But the most unsettling question remains unanswered. Why was Harrington's letter hidden so carefully for over a century? And what exactly did the government expect to happen in 2028? No one knows, but one thing is certain. America has always buried its darkest truths underground. And sometimes those truths find their way back to the surface.